Hi everybody, this is Dave Tigner. Just wanted to give you a little update on Beulah. We purchased Beulah on Ninette's birthday, and then we got things ready and we headed to St. George, just south of Salt Lake City. It's a lot warmer and our family lives down there, so we went down for Thanksgiving. After Thanksgiving, after spending a few days there, we decided to put Beulah in storage. So the trip down and the sleeping in Beulah and everything was great. We really enjoyed it. That was kind of our first little preliminary trip, and we put Beulah in storage until January. In January we came back down and we spent the first couple weeks of January just doing remodeling on Beulah and making some changes and things. If you want to see what we did, you can refer to our video that we created called Say Hello to Beulah. And that shows kind of all the changes that we did and the fixes that we put in and the modifications, upgrades. So about mid-January we decided to leave St. George and we worked our way south. We didn't go too far. We just went to a little town about 30 miles south of St. George called Mesquite, Nevada. They have a Virgin River casino there. They have prime rib for $5.95 a person. So we went down there and we actually stayed in their parking lot for a couple days, enjoyed the area, and then we worked our way on down to Moapa Valley. Found this neat place that had this pomegranate juice, a lot of different types of blends, and also this pomegranate jelly that we found with some jalapeno, really good. We stayed there for about a week and then we moved our way out to this site here, which is called Poverty Flats. Poverty Flats is boondocking at its best. This is where a lot of people just stay and hang out for the year. It's some kind of right-of-way, so there's they don't have to be in and out like they do on BLM land. But this is a view from when we're sitting outside in the evening and the sun's setting. Really pretty view overlooking Lake Mead. It's kind of in the distance there. So from there we moved up to Valley of Fire State Park, that's in Nevada. This is Balancing Rock. They had some interesting little plant life out there, a lot of different hikes that you could go on to, and just some petroglyphs, petrified wood, just a lot of really cool things. This is the White Dome area. Has some nice little canyon areas in there, slotty spots, really good views of some pretty cool sandstone sculptures. Just overall, it's just a really neat, pretty area. We had ram sheep. They'd come down during the day and eat, and then who knows where they went during the evenings. But we worked our way over to an area called Rainbow Vista. The Rainbow Vista is just some different shades of coloring in the sandstone. One of the hikes they have is called Mouse Tank, which kind of remind me of our canyoneering stuff, just like potholes. There is no canyoneering in the Valley of Fire, unfortunately. In the 1930s, the Army Corps of Engineers came in to work on this area, so this is some of their places that they actually lived, which were actually built pretty good and were fairly large size for one person. And then from there we moved over to a hike that we went on called Charlie Springs. It's supposed to be about 2.5 miles or so. We actually ended up going about 3 miles before we decided that we'd gone too far and found this nice White Cliff area. But as we worked our way back, we found this nice palm tree, a lot of water running around here, so we figured this must have been the springs. Not sure. It's pretty overgrown with cattails, so not sure if the end marker's in there somewhere.
I love these as a kid. You can make wishes. The adventure for today.
So from there we moved on out to Lake Mead. This was ended up being one of our favorite kind of camping areas that you could boondock at. There's no services out here. You'll notice that the white spot that goes around the rim there is what the level of water used to be about 15 years ago, they say, and that has been getting lower and lower over the time. So this area that we're actually camping in here is actually, on the map, shows that we're kind of like in the middle of the lake. We stayed at a place called Stewart's Point. This particular springs is just south of Stewart's Point, just a little bit off the road. Really, really pretty area, and this drains into Lake Mead. So this was our favorite spot to stay. We loved this area. It was nice and peaceful. Ninette's got a little video here of just one of the mornings.
Here we are at Lake Mead. This has been one of our favorite free spots. It's very beautiful to look out on the lake every day. We saw a great blue heron this morning. This is Valentine's Day, 2018.
So we left Stewart's Point and we headed into Las Vegas, and right downtown Las Vegas is the old Las Vegas Mormon Fort. So we visited that state park and just kind of looked through things. This is just kind of some of the things that's actually left there. A lot of it's been torn down as Las Vegas started growing. They took this over in 1991. This had a lot of interesting information, a lot of history around how the fort was set up and used, and it also had a spring that's inside of the fort area, so that they'd use that for drinking water and for their crops. From there we moved south to a new state park that was purchased in 1973. That was the Spring Mountain Ranch. So it's 540 plus acres, and it's part of, or it kind of was surrounded by the Paiute Indians. And that was just something that was set up, and it's got a lot of history here too, but a lot of springs around this whole area that everybody used for watering and keeping track of everything. It used to be a big ranch, and it's just slowly died down over the years, and then until Nevada, stepped in and actually purchased it and made it a state park. From there, we moved to Littlefield, Nevada. Just outside of Littlefield, Nevada, just a few miles, is the Big Bend State Park. The Big Bend State Park is right on the Colorado River. So this is the this is the Colorado River overlook right here, and part of some of the day use camp areas. Also, here is a picture of a roadrunner. So, and we could always hear off in the distance. We never ever seen any, but we could always see or hear the coyotes. So, kind of brings back memories of my childhood with the Coyote and Roadrunner show, cartoon show. Littlefield, Nevada is just a bunch of casinos, and it's very, very small. The actual portion of this area is actually right across the river into Arizona, which is Bullhead City, Arizona. And that's the actual city that's got the large population. Most people live there. So 15 miles south of Bullhead City is a little town called Oatman, Arizona. It's actually on Highway Route 66. And this is kind of a fun little town. It's pretty exciting because you have these donkeys just standing everywhere, and people can feed them. One thing we were told is we could take carrots, and they love carrots, but that changed a few years ago. So they only allow you to feed them alfalfa now, but the feed is very inexpensive. A bag of alfalfa pellets and things is only $1, so you can go around and feed all of the little donkeys and things. It's a pretty fun little area, and it was pretty exciting. It had a lot of nice gift shops and things. From there, we started working our way back up to St. George, and we stopped just north of Mesquite, Nevada, at a little place called Littlefield, Arizona. It's just where the road just barely tips into Arizona before it goes into Utah. And we stopped to visit this little place called Little Jamaica. So Little Jamaica was supposed to be hot springs, but this is February, and that water was best lukewarm. So we did not go swimming here. Looks like a pretty cool area, and it's built up really nice. So I'm sure during the summer months that it's a lot of fun, and everyone, it's probably the most popular area during the summer. From there, we worked our way up through the canyon. As we started to enter the Virgin Gorge, there was a big street over the freeway sign that said "Beware of snowplows," and we thought that was the craziest thing we ever heard of down here. But as we got to the top of the gorge, it got really cold, and after we got parked and set up, not too long after that, a nice hailstorm came through and dumped about 2 inches of snow. So it was kind of cold. It was nice sitting around our little fireplace and just staying warm. And but the snow was out there, and the wind was howling, and it was a pretty icy evening. From there, we headed off to the other side of St. George to spend a week. We actually went to a place that's at the very north portion of Arizona, just before it goes into St. George, over by Fredonia and Kanab, Utah. That is called Pipe Springs. Pipe Springs is a national monument, and we have a little bit of video talking about that. So here we're at Pipe Springs National Monument. There is nobody here but us today, and this is February, the last day of February. Really pretty view of the valley. This is located in Arizona, right at the top of Arizona, just before you go into Utah. They have tons of RV spots here, and with full service hookups and everything. Really, really nice place. The clubhouse here is got all kinds of cool games and everything in it. It's got showers, really nice bathrooms, showers, laundry facilities. They just haven't got everything completely off the ground as far as advertising goes, but everything else is working well, and they've been here for about 5 years, I understand, and they're just finally getting everything finished and trying to get the word out to everybody. So pretty cool place. The rates are, they Passport America, if you have that, you get a half off, 50% off the rate. Right now the nightly rate's $25. So for $12 a night, we've got a pretty good deal here, and really nice view of the valley, and it's just a really pretty cool place. It's I'll show you the fort too. We'll take a picture of that as we drive by. The fort is a ranch that was built here by laid out by Brigham Young, and it's got a big springs, so that's the Pipe Springs, just big springs coming out of the side of the hill where they built the fort. All the water kind of goes in there, and that's what they have. It's got a pretty good flow of water that services this particular area. So that's pretty much our trip, and like we mentioned in our one video, 5 steps to becoming a full-time RVer. It's important to take multiple trips, so we have multiple trips planned. It's now the end of February. We're putting Beulah into storage for March and part of April, and towards the end of April we'll take off on our next trip.